Welcome back to the deep dive. We got a really interesting piece sent in an essay by Dr. Moira Weigel in the New York Times.
Yeah, it tackles a big question.
Exactly. We want to dig into this. Are President Trump's tariffs on China actually doing what they were supposed to do? Bringing manufacturing jobs back here to the U.S.
It's definitely the central question. And Dr. Weigel has this unique angle, right? She actually trained as an Amazon merchant over in Hangzhou.
Right, which gives her this ground level view.
Uh,
And the thing that jumped out at me immediately was this kind of surprising twist. Some folks in China apparently see these tariffs as, well, maybe even good for China.
yeah, that's counterintuitive, isn't it?
Totally. Okay, so let's break it down. Weigel's main point, and she's citing other experts too, is basically that the tariffs are, quote, unlikely to achieve his goal of returning manufacturing jobs to the United States.
Right. And the reasoning behind that seems pretty straightforward initially. It's that the tariffs mostly just mean Americans end up paying more.
Paying more for, the same stuff they always bought on Amazon?
Pretty much. The cost gets passed on. It doesn't automatically mean companies pack up and move production back to the U.S.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But then there's this other layer, the unintended consequences idea.
Exactly. Weigel suggests this could actually push the whole Chinese Amazon seller network to think bigger, go global.
Which could, paradoxically, end up strengthening China's economic reach worldwide. How does that work?
Well, it comes down to how integrated things are.
Yeah.
Like, she makes this point that Amazon is as much a Chinese company as an American one,
Really? How so?
because a huge percentage of their top sellers, the ones really moving volume, are based in China. And Amazon gets significant revenue from their seller fees.
Ah, okay, so Amazon relies on them quite a bit.
Definitely. So when you put tariffs on the goods, those sellers are shipping.
It creates pressure. Right. And Weigel says this gives Chinese sellers a really strong incentive to try to sell their goods elsewhere.
Uh-huh. And that actually lines up with what the Chinese government itself has been encouraging: diversification, the Belt and Road Initiative, finding new markets.
So instead of hurting them, the tariffs might inadvertently be giving them a nudge to expand their global footprint, potentially reducing their reliance on the U.S. market.
That's a plausible chain reaction, yeah. Pushing them to build stronger ties elsewhere.
Which brings us to that amazing detail, the nickname Chuan Zhongguo.
Yeah, Trump the nation builder, or sometimes Comrade Trump.
It sounds like a joke, but what's the idea behind it?
The sort of dark humor, I guess, is that by causing disruption and maybe weakening U.S. alliances or institutions, he's inadvertently making China stronger or helping it advance its interests.
Wow. Okay. Now, Weigel does add nuance there, right? Citing another source saying the fondness is mostly a joke.
Right. It's not necessarily widespread, genuine support, but even that source apparently suggests that tariffs are seen by some as a catalyst.
A catalyst for China to step up and assume its rightful place as the world's leader
Yeah.
in a sort of new, non-U.S. centric globalization.
That seems to be the underlying thought from that perspective, yes. A sort of forced acceleration.
Okay, so just to be super clear for everyone listening, we're not saying the tariffs are good or bad for China.
Absolutely not. We're just relaying the different perspectives presented in the source material Dr. Weigel discusses. It's about understanding how these actions are being interpreted.
And seeing the potential for these, well, unexpected ripples?
Definitely raises questions about how complex global trade actually is. You pull one lever and you might get results you didn't foresee.
So wrapping up, the takeaway from these sources seems to be the tariffs might not be hitting their target of bringing U.S. manufacturing back. And maybe more surprisingly, there are viewpoints within China suggesting they could end up being beneficial for China's global standing in the long run.
Yeah, it leaves you wondering, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Given all these angles, what does it really tell us about how global economics works today? The potential for actions to backfire or have completely ironic outcomes.
And maybe what other forces, besides just tariffs, are really shaping the future of trade between the U.S. and China.
Exactly. Plenty to think about there.